Welcome to the city, Mastermind City. Hi, I'm Faye Chappell.
And I'm Stacey Maynard. Join us for a vibrant, uplifting, and inspiring conversation as we focus on how you can make a lasting impact on a global scale. Because the truth is, we're here because we want you to win.
So are you ready? Are you ready to build your unique message, showcase your brand advantage, get visibility, and make an impact? Well, if you are, then you're in the right place. Welcome to the city.
Hey.
Hi. Should we continue our conversation?
No, I think we're good. It's one of those mornings where you're like, do we continue the conversation? Are we having this conversation? It's way too early for this conversation.
Yeah. Can I just shout it out because I think it's so funny?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay, so I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. And I didn't listen to this one, but somehow I'm on this person's list. And they do a podcast, her and her husband, and it's like a woo-woo sex podcast, and it talks all about, spiritual sex and all that stuff. But like there's some episodes where they have sex on the episode and they describe it, I guess, and talk about it. And I was just saying to Stacey, like, if it was video, it would be considered porn, but because it's audio, is it not? Like, it's interesting to me. Like, it's such a gray area.
It is such a gray area. And because the only, like, just as when you go in to publish your podcast, the only two options are clean and explicit.
Right.
So this would go under the category of explicit language or just explicit topic. So, and then I know, but is there, because sometimes, with podcasts, you experience, they roll from one into another.
Right.
So is there a disclaimer?
I don't know. I think I'm going to go on it now.
Morbid curiosity.
Well, yeah, it's just interesting because, what's the, what is, I think I don't know. I think I heard a little bit of it. I'm not really sure. I can't remember my brain if I read her email now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I think you go into shock. It's
are they actually having this conversation?
Yeah. I get the conversation, but to have sex and be describing it as you're going, I'm just fascinated. Anyway, now I'm going to get all these DMs that say, oh, which one's that? I want to listen.
What was that? What show are you listening to? How did you get on this person's list?
Exactly. Anyway, sorry, I started your morning off like that. I apologize, guys. But it was just so fascinating.
I have nowhere to go after that.
So I'm in another office. I'm always, I feel like, where's Waldo? I've been a lot of places setting up little offices here and there. And so I'm lugging with me because I knew I'm coming here. It's the only place I could go this morning. And I'm lugging with me my mic and my camera. And I get here and I already have a mic and a camera here. So because I buy multiples, because it's the truth. I know you guys are going to, get mad, but I'm lazy on that stuff. So even up north, I have my studio and I have I work mainly on my laptop, but I have a separate keyboard on my desk. And then I have one on our stand-up desk. So it's easier for us, right? So we don't have to go back and forth. Yeah, a whole 5 feet. It's going to kill us. And then I have a little office at my place on the water. 2 days ago, I just hit that Amazon button and bought another keyboard.
But I actually disagree with the fact that you say that that's lazy. To me, that's being efficient. Because
it's being efficient.
Because those mere seconds of walking those 5 feet will save you time. But and we've talked about this before, right? If you can have your, home office or home studio set up for a video, you can literally come, stand, sit, do a video. If you can have, and you're in a different situation than most people. Most people will have one place. Exactly. So if they have to go somewhere else, it's a bigger move. They have to then move, monitors and cables and all that kind of stuff. But you're constantly on the move, right? You're in a different spot. So if you had to lug all of that stuff to all these different places, you would forget different things. So if you have a setup, then you can just arrive and you're ready to work instead of spending all the time setting everything up.
Yes. And I want it to be, I want Mac, Apple, you're listening to me because you are the mothership. I would like you to come up with a MacBook Pro that has a fabulous webcam, HD webcam, and a fabulous mic that's already integrated. So I don't need all those things.
Well, now
That's
you
what
have
I
them all. But I don't think that will take away though, because again, that external mic, like I have, this is my beautiful Yeti. And I also know how much Brenda loves her Yeti. It sounds better. Like no matter what, no, they cannot create a microphone in their computer.
Hang on. Why do you say that? And Steve Jobs created 5,000 songs in your pocket when he did the iPod. Why can't they create the mic in your laptop?
They can create the mic, but there's no way that you can be that close enough to it that the sound's going to be better.
You don't know that.
Maybe I'm wrong. Now I will give them credit when you're on like Zoom or if you're doing a call or whatever, like, yes, the sound is good.
Well,
but from a recording perspective,
I have the iPhone 13, right?
Okay.
I was kind of waffling because the 14 is supposed to be really cool, but it's not out till this fall, right? So anyways, I have the 13. It's got 1 million cameras in the back. The microphone's amazing. And it's got, I'm telling you, my phone has 1 terabyte of hard drive. So my phone is actually better than my laptop.
Probably. Yeah.
So they've managed, like, if I did this call on my phone, right? The microphone would be great. The camera would be awesome. The only challenge is it's small and I need a bigger screen. So I
still will hold true. We are going to put this out there to the tech gurus of the world. When you're talking about sound, specifically for recording, whether you're recording a conference, whether you're recording a podcast, whether you whatever, if you're on just sort of a one-on-one call, fine. That the distance that you are away from your mic, you're going to pick up all of that external sound. So if your mic is closer to you right now,
I believe that there is some little boy downstairs in his basement who can figure this out, or a little girl. Yeah. Either way, I believe there's somebody who can figure it out, right?
Because they are doing it with I will give them credit, the Bluetooth headphones, like the AirPods, like they sound fantastic. But you're this far away. You're from your ear to your mouth distance from it. If you're far enough away from like if I stand back here, I'm far enough away from my my mic that I still picks up external sound. So if they can do it, I will eat my words happily.
I believe they will.
Okay. So, we will see. Because that will change podcasting life forever.
Right.
Because the concept of where do I record? What do I need? What mic do I need? What camera do I need?
But I will say, I mean, if you do record on a newer iPhone, the sound is amazing.
Yes. Yeah. So, and I tell people that if you use your phone and go into a closet where there isn't a lot of external sound, I still say the external sound, if you're in an open space, your sound will still sound echoey. So I'm going to hopefully, if they can come up with it, I will replay this episode and admit that I am wrong.
No, listen, I'm always using mics. That's why I was lugging. And like I have these old snowballs here, right? Because I have like 5 or 6 of them from the old days, right? Before the Yetis. And the snowballs are still amazing. And they're great because like they're so inexpensive that's why I had 5 or 6 of them, because I would just leave them everywhere. And then because the mics are harder to carry, right? They're harder to lug around. And the more you carry them, the more you're apt to break them, or the cord breaks or bends or whatever. And especially if you're a little bit messy so my daughter is like one of those perfect people who wraps her cords. I don't know if you're like that, Stacey. She wraps her cords perfectly.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. See, you know what I do, as you know, I throw them in my bag. I don't wrap anything. I'm lucky that my laptop's closed, That's why I'm a little bit messy with tech. I am, because I'm always in a hurry.
Right.
Always in a hurry to go somewhere. So,
Yeah.
but anyways, yeah, I agree that it's better to have a mic, and that's why I brought one here um, for Jeff, who
This.
works here.
But you know what? Brenda's just saying that on the phones that she recorded an entire digital course on her iPhone. She did use a external mic, but the phone video, like I will say, fantastic. And I can tell, and I can see the difference from like years ago.
Yeah.
It's like, well, how much better can a phone get? And you see the commercials where they can record incredible,
you do a whole movie. Well, there was a movie
videos.
I can't remember which one it was now. It's a big movie, movie that ended up being a big money maker. Can't remember what it was. I can't remember, but anyways, a documentary kind of thing. And he ran out of like he was renting cameras and doing all this stuff because it was a first time indie kind of thing, and he ran out of time and money, and so he filmed the last couple things on his phone.
Yeah, and
you didn't notice the difference at all.
It's incredible quality, because I know like people who ask me like, what webcam do you have? What's this, what's that? And I'm like, you don't need any of it. You can do it on your phone. And the shock of people is like, what do you mean? I'm like they're incredible. Like,
yeah, I would invest if I was telling somebody to, like, if they wanted to like buy a new laptop, buy a new webcam, do all this stuff, I would say invest in a good phone.
Yeah.
Because you can do more with a good phone now. And I know people go, oh, but you know, phones are ridiculously expensive, and they are, but like now you can go to like Apple, which is what I did. You can go to Apple, no contract or anything. They go through PayBright or something, and you just pay monthly for 2 years.
Yeah.
And there's no interest. So get whatever the hell you want, right? Pay it off as installments, and you have a really, really fantastic studio equipment to use. So the one thing you don't skimp on is your phone, because if you really do want to do a lot of recording or podcasts or anything, and if you had to spend your money on one thing, that's it, because there's no external needed.
Well, and it lasts a long time.
Yeah.
Right. Like I have the 11 still, because it's working fantastic. The camera's fantastic. The video is fantastic. You know, there's no need. So you're right. And it's extremely, again, mobile. You can be anywhere.
Yeah.
And if you want to do a TikTok or a reel or video training or a vlog or whatever the case may be, you hold up your phone and you're ready to go.
Right.
Like anywhere you are, you don't have to go, oh, well, I have to wait till I get home. I have inspiration. I want to do it now. I'm outside. Maybe it's like perfect weather, perfect everything. And you go. And I have to say, if you're worried about lighting and stuff, just you can throw on filters, do a bunch of things. Absolutely. Or you can just, again, like instead of, you know, this way's a shadow, this way isn't.
Yeah. And you don't have to lug your whole like laptop around and stuff. And now what we're looking at like a gimbal, because we're going to be to hold our phones, right? Because we're going to be doing a lot of outdoor filming in the next couple of months. So if you get like a stabilizer, gimbal's just a brand. So if you get a stabilizer, then
that's probably the only thing I will say, because there's a lot of people that do vlogging. So if I'm walking, and then this is how, and they're doing it while moving. And I tried that a couple of times, probably about 5 years ago. I was like, oh, I want to be like, I like walking and talking. Yeah. So I was like, this is perfect. And you and I even had that conversation, I think when we were in California, and I was like, yeah, I kind of like this. But the biggest feedback that most people will say is, you're making me dizzy.
Right. And that's what these gimbals, these stabilizers are, right? So they actually, they expand, you're holding it, so it's easy to hold, but it also stabilizes it when you're walking.
Right. So you're not, it's not moving up and down with you. So you don't get the background sort of jerkiness.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I can't agree more. It's amazing to be an entrepreneur in 2022. We have so many incredible tools available to us. Absolutely. Yeah. It's just so easy. Like there isn't a barrier in regards to, oh, I can't afford like a $1,000 webcam and $1,000 mic. These aren't $1,000, by the way. But that's what it used to be. Now these items are like $100, a few $100 kind of thing, and you can be set up and sound professional. But you're right. It's getting to the point where I need this only.
Right.
And these items like webcams and mics, are probably going to reduce in sales because these are becoming so good, kind of like these did away with digital cameras.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
there are still people that use digital cameras, but
like you can get an HD webcam, like a 1080p webcam for like $20 now. Go on Amazon and there's a million of them, right?
absolutely.
So
And the photo quality, like I remember it was in October and I was just happened to be, again, I was going for a walk. I think it was in a provincial park and it was in the fall. So I literally like took a picture of the trees that I just love.
Mhm.
And in February, I had it blown up to 20 by 24 or 24 by 30, like quite a big poster size. I had it printed on canvas and that's sitting in my hallway. And so the quality, like before, you would never have been able to print something that big coming from a camera because it would be so pixelated.
Yeah.
So there's no, like, unless you're a professional photographer.
Yeah. Well, and that's the difference now. I mean, like, you know, as you said, like you can take a picture and it looks professional. Like you have to have the eye for it. So there's a difference. I mean, sometimes you get lucky and you just take a good shot, but you don't have the professional in terms of, you know, understanding the composition and stuff of what makes a good photo. However, if you do have that eye, even though you're not professionally trained, right? If you do have that eye instinctively, intuitively, then you can actually take some amazing pictures. And, you know, it's a whole new business that you could get into.
But there are people now out there who are making a living on teaching people how to use your phone to take incredible pictures. Like I've learned so much from TikTok, how to use your phone and take better photos. Because there's a lot of photographers on there that are like, instead of taking the vacation shot like this, turn your phone upside down and bring it lower. And I'm like, and I've done that. And it's like the photo quality is fantastic.
Yes.
Like,
there's so many. I mean, and I mean, yes, anyone can take better pictures if they learn some of the tricks. It's just like anyone can, you know, film better if you learn like what we're talking about today, right? If you understand to use a phone, if you understand that a mic makes a difference, a webcam makes a difference. Sometimes people don't know, right? So if somebody says this is what you do with your phone, it can be better. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're not an expert or you're not going to, you know, take photos to sell, right? But it will make whatever you're doing better. And that's the important part, because there's nothing worse than, for example, listening to a podcast with bad audio. It kind of defeats the purpose of the podcast. So if buying a snowball, like a snowball mic, they still sell them. They're probably like $39 or something. Probably you can probably buy them at clearance places for $10. But if you just invest $10, $20 on a little mic, that will completely change your podcast. And people don't understand, like they might not know why they like or dislike a podcast. Like you might dislike a podcast even though the value is great, because the sound is driving you nuts, right?
Well, there's an interesting debate because so a lot of people here, and we do talk about the it's better to be done than perfect, and I 110% agree with that. But where's the line?
Right.
So the debate of the line is, I don't care. I'm giving lots of value. Therefore, the quality doesn't matter. Therefore, if I have bad audio, it doesn't matter because I'm giving great value.
Well, it's a very simple answer. It's very simple. If there is something that's a distraction to the value, then it is worth investing fixing it. So if the noise quality, if the audio quality is bad, even though the value is good, what you need to understand is when I'm listening to you talk about it, I am distracted because I can hear the bad. And I'll tell you a great example. Last week I was on a Zoom call, and the head of the Zoom call had a terrible audio, and it was making me crazy. I couldn't even listen to them because all I kept thinking in my brain was, oh, they need to fix this audio. It's so bad. It's driving me nuts.
Right.
I didn't listen to them.
Right.
So it's the same. So I'm not discounting. Some people, you know, would say, well, it doesn't matter, it's value. I agree. You're still giving value. Awesome. But if you really want to make an impact and make a difference, then understand what's missing, right? Understands what's missing. So, even with the video part, if you're doing a video, it's fine. It might be like a little grainy or whatever. Is it still valuable? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But is somebody going to pay attention more if it's crystal clear? Yes.
Well, there's also, I find it interesting, again, as a producer, right? I listen to things differently when I'm going through, but if there's a really loud noise, like a dog barks or something like that, that is a higher pitch, well, sometimes it's hard to separate those audios. And yes, I do my best, blah, 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 but I can't completely get rid of the dog barking.
Yeah.
If you're talking. But what that also does, because we talk about pattern interrupts, right? Yeah. Like that actually, because you want people to stay in the flow of your show. You want them to continue to listen throughout. But when that happens, it's like kind of like, again, it kind of like snaps you out of it. Yeah. And then you start to realize, oh, actually now I'm late for my appointment. Oh, I should be doing this. Oh, and they might turn it off.
That's right.
Like that's the other psychology of it. Yeah. Like it doesn't matter, but it does to a certain degree. So again, there's that line of, yes, you're giving bad value, but you're right. If if that creates a distraction, then that becomes a problem, and they won't continue to listen.
And that's what so it's very, if you can watch your own or listen to your own stuff and see that, if you realize that the audio is bad. I mean, some people don't even know the difference because they don't do that much. But for the majority of people, right, if there is a crackling, if there's that like fuzzy noise, right, in your voice, because they're just using their laptop mic and it's terrible. Yeah. And it's mostly PCs. Sorry.
Yes, because it's interesting how the Android world focuses on their cameras, but when it comes to their computers, their audio and their video really is terrible. But so in video, I know we're talking a lot about like equipment and stuff like that, but we went down this road. We went down a rabbit hole. With video, it's different. So if our video was fuzzy or you couldn't see us clearly, or Faye doesn't have a ring light in front of her today, so that's okay. You're right. You're more forgiving of that if the audio is okay, because really most people will listen to a video over watching a video.
Right.
So they can minimize it and still listen. They can work on something else while they're listening. Most people are listening in the background. So it's okay. Your video doesn't have to be perfect and your audio doesn't have to be perfect, but it does, like, it's weird little sounds and you're like crackling and stuff. It does. It hurts my ears too. And I can't do it. I think it's only been a couple of occasions where I've literally gone back to the podcast host and said, I can't do this. I can't put it out. You need to re-record. Yeah. Because it's that bad. Now I can fix bad. I can't fix that bad.
Yeah.
Like there's a limit.
I mean, and I think that's, it's important for people to, we talk a lot about what we use, and that's why we're ending up on this subject today, right? Because we talk about a lot about it because we've used everything and we understand how to use inexpensive snowball mics, which still make a difference, to really nice Yetis, to even higher end, right? So we understand the difference of it. If you can just take what we tell you, little bits and pieces, and integrate them, everything will change that you use for your own. And we don't want you to spend the millions of dollars that we've spent on everything.
No, but there is really inexpensive. I mean, look at the one that I use when I'm in Halifax. Yeah. I have it's a little razor. Yeah. It's like this big, literally. It's like 2 inches tall. Yeah. But the sound is so much better than if I was using my regular laptop. So
exactly. So it's worth investing in. And if you're like me and you got to go place to place, just buy some inexpensive mics and leave them everywhere.
Efficient. This is called efficient. I will say, when I pack up to go north, I now have my system of, putting everything in or whatever. But So
it's funny because remember when you came up last time, what did I say? I said, why don't you just leave something here? And you're like, oh yeah, I'll just order another one. Right?
Yeah, it's my mouse because I forgot my mouse and I love my mouse. Like I'm old school still on my equipment. So I know in today's world, they use the trackpad on the laptop. The kids don't even know how to use a mouse. They're like, why do you need a mouse? You've got a trackpad. I'm like, I like my mouse. Leave me alone.
Me too. Like it's just, so for me as well, I wouldn't, well, there's two reasons. One is if you're I'm just using a small laptop. It's a 13-inch MacBook Pro. which is carryable for me, right? But because it is normally it's like a foot or two away, and then I have another keyboard in front of it.
Yeah.
So I'm using my keyboard and a mouse. I'm not using the actual laptop. When do I use a laptop keyboard? When I'm in, on my couch, on my bed, whenever. But at my desk, I use externals, and I just wanted to point out today that I haven't tried it yet. So I'll let you know. I bought. I was at a Winter or HomeSense yesterday, and which is like TJ Maxx for us American. TJ Maxx. What's their home store?
Yeah.
What's their home store? I can't remember. Anyway,
I don't know.
In the U.S.
TJ Maxx, yeah.
So they always have cheap, and I always look at their tech stuff because that's where you get webcams for $10 and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's our secret today. If anyone wants to go to HomeSense and Winners and look, it's always in the men's section, which will piss me off. Sorry.
Really?
It pisses me off because all their tech is always in the men's section. I don't understand that.
Well, anyway. And I'm just going to go on a rant after that about, so go ahead.
So, but what they had, those charging pads, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there's, the charging pads, and normally doesn't work because your phone's in a case, right? And it never works. And so I'm never interested. But I looked at the picture, and what's on the charging pad? The mouse. And I'm like, oh my God, the mouse is on the charging pad. Who knows how annoying it is to charge your mouse, because the charging thing is in the back and then you can't use your mouse, right?
Which is what I faced the other day, and I had to use my trackpad, and it annoyed me.
So here's the thing. If you have this, it's a little charge pad, it's about this big. But every time you put your mouse down, it's charging.
Oh, I want that.
So I don't know if it works
that today.
I don't know if it works yet. I bought 2.
Let me know.
So I will let you know. So, but wouldn't that be great? Because this is the most annoying thing that I can put. So Apple, listen to me.
Like they couldn't have put it like right on the end so you could still use your mouse.
Use it, right?
Like, no, they had to put it under.
And I will say the charge lasts a very long time.
It does. Yes.
But still, however, when it dies, it annoys the heck out of me. But now let's even every night, you leave your laptop, you never plug it in. Nobody ever thinks to plug in their mouse, right?
No, but if I had a pad, I'd put it on it at night.
So isn't that great?
You might have made my day.
So, well, here's the thing here. And this is I'm going to shout out to this company because this is great marketing. I would have never bought a charge pad, but the picture was a phone and a mouse pad. And normally, a phone and a mouse. And normally it's a phone and you're your AirPods or something. You know what I mean? It's always your watch or something. But these smarty pants put this on. And I was like, oh my God, that's it. That was it for me, right?
So again, smart marketing. You have to know audience and what they're looking for.
Isn't that amazing?
All the problems.
So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it works.
Yes, let me know, because I will seriously, I will be so happy. We'll shoot it from the rooftops. So my small rant, based on what you just said, which is the tech is in the men's section.
Yeah.
Can I tell you how unbelievably annoyed I am around Father's Day?
Yes.
Because all of the stuff that I want for Mother's Day is advertised for Father's Day.
Yeah.
Like the tech stuff, the tools. I'm the repair person in the house.
Yeah.
My husband in his toolbox. Oh yeah, he doesn't have one, but if he did, it would be the phone book.
Yes.
Like he doesn't use any of the tools I do. I want the cool gadgets. Right. I want the cool tools. I want the new drill that's out or whatever. That's what I want. I get very annoyed when they go through Mother's Day and I'm like, there's nothing. But when it comes to Father's Day, I want all of that stuff.
Flowers and perfume, aprons, cooking utensils.
Like, have we grown past 1950?
I guess not.
It's
true because that tech stuff and hardware or tools are going to go on sale in June.
That's what I mean. Now, great for my birthday, but not for Mother's Day.
No, you're right. Well, that's why, like I said, that's why it pisses me off when I go into the store and the tech stuff is in the men's section. And I'm like, well, what the hell's that all about?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm the person, as you are not in tools, but in tech, I'm the person that fixes everything. I'm the person that sets up everybody's stuff, even my kids, right? I do all that stuff. and I'm the one who finds the gadgets, right?
Exactly.
And I will say, I mean, this is true. I will say, actually, it wasn't HomeSense, it was Winners, because it was in the men's section. The trackpad. I'm just remembering now. But I will say that this is what I do. I'm so conditioned now, and so this is another, like I said, go to the men's section. For those of you who've never done that before, I walk into Winners or Marshalls and I go specifically to the men's section. There's one side that have all the that's the other thing. All the exercise stuff is in the men's section.
Yeah, what's up with that too?
And then on the other side of that row is the tech.
Yeah, I don't understand.
So every time I go into the store, I beeline it. Why do I beeline it? There's my other secret, is because I always go onto the ends and look at clearance.
Yeah.
And that's when I find $20 webcams, and I just buy them because I know I can use them. Yeah. So, holders for your iPhone, on your, for your car, all that stuff. I buy everything clearance. The charge pads weren't, but they were only like $24.
All right. We're going to do our fingers crossed. We're going to let you know next week if it worked.
Yeah.
Sorry to go buy it.
So, we did say we talk a lot about what we use, and we get people slide into our DMs all the time and say, what are you using for this? What are you using for this? What are you using for this? So we finally got our act together, right, Stacey?
We did. We have a resources page. So what products do you use? What do you use for social media posting? What do you use for your funnels? What do you use for your email marketing? All of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and we've used everything. It's just so everyone knows. We've talked about it before. We've used probably and sometimes we've used things and went back to them, right? So yes. I use back 100 years ago when it first launched, I used ClickFunnels, and then Kajabi came out, a bunch of others came out, and I'd abandoned it. And then we've been using Kajabi, and we've used Groove, and we use a lot of different platforms. And now we're integrating ClickFunnels back in because they have some cool stuff going on.
Yeah.
And so we're layering that in as well. So we only list things that we love.
The mastermind.city/tools and resources.
Yeah.
And it does have, so everything that's listed there, we either use or have used and loved. Actually, I'd probably say most of it we are currently using.
Yeah. And that's all software, but we're going to start adding our hardware into so keep checking because at the bottom of the page, we're going to add our hardware. Maybe we should add some like hardware from Zoom, from Amazon links or something, because it's easy for people to buy that way, right?
Yeah, exactly. They can go direct, like if we can find that charging pad on Amazon.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's cool. Mics, lapel mics, webcams. We have a lot of different gadgets that we have bought over the years, so we will have to consolidate that into for people on the
but in terms of software, which is the scarier thing for most people, right? Like, because they're like, oh, like, because software is usually an investment. Yeah. We're big fans of again, trying out the latest software. So we usually fund these small little ones and we get them dirt cheap, but we try them out. And there's a lot we've bought that were terrible.
Yeah, there's one recently that I bought and just did not meet its expectations. That will not be on our tools and resources page. No. But there's ones that are the exact we buy and we're
blown away.
How has nobody ever heard of this? This does exactly what we needed to do. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
there's a couple that, like, off the top are what we use for social media posting, which is Publer.
Yeah.
And what we use for these cool widgets.
Oh my goodness.
Is it on there? Is Elfsight on there now? Okay. So Elfsight is like the coolest thing. You have to go onto our resource page and click it, because it adds so many cool things onto what you can do. Like, all these widget buttons to your website is amazing. And it's so simple and so easy to do.
Checking the page. It's called, it's called Elfsight. Right now, so 2 pages have, just to check out the widget. The one page that we have is our events.
Yeah.
That is all done through Elfsight, and it is sort of embedded onto a page. So we don't have to update the page. And it looks really good.
It's so simple to do.
And
Nope,
the
you
other
don't need to.
page that we also use for Elf, we use different banners and all kinds of stuff and countdown
Yeah.
timers from Elf site. But the hot topics, the mastermind.city/hot topics, that particular page, if you go down to the bottom, you'll see all of our previous hot topics and from YouTube. So it's actually pulls the playlist right from YouTube,
Yeah.
and you can customize how you want it to look. So that page also uses one of the widgets from Elf site. So when we think widgets, we think like WordPress,
Yeah.
but no, it can go onto any website and it looks fantastic.
Yeah, and we're a regular subscriber. We don't pay. We don't get any special deals or anything. The only special deal is we always buy the yearly. And when you buy the yearly pass, they'll when you go to renew, they'll always offer you a couple months before, do you want to renew? And then they'll give you a discount. There's certain softwares that are worth it. Your big ones like Kajabi, Groove, and ClickFunnels, you don't have to use all three of them. You can only use one, but we like them all for different
reasons. Exactly.
So, but those are, bigger expense, but we could not run our business without at least one of them.
Yeah,
you need at least one.
Yeah.
You can go to more inexpensive ones like Teachables and all those, but they don't give you as many tools. So if you really want more of all-in-one solutions, all three of those stand on their own.
Yeah.
We're using them for different reasons. And a lot of the time, just so you guys understand, a lot of the time we use things to test, right? Yeah. So we're like, let's try it over here and see if our conversion rate is better. See if our opt-in rate is better. Let's see because they've added some layer into it. Let's see what happens, right? So it's not that we just want to keep adding, different software. We just
but we also go back, like you said earlier. We both tried ClickFunnels many years ago, and now we're retrying many years later because things have changed. They've changed some of their integrations. They've changed the way that they do things. So we test things out, and we're going to let you know when our test is complete if this worked better and why.
Yeah. And then we'll give you the comparison. And there's some cool things that there's A/B split testing in it, all this kind of cool stuff. It's a little bit, if you want it a little simple, a little easier, I would stick with Kajabi because that is just very straightforward and simple and easy to follow. Grooves is amazing because they have all these things coming in where
you kind of buy into their future. They're going to be a very big all-in-one solution.
Yeah. And so with Groove, for example, like think about Groove, they do landing pages, they do websites, they have all these integrations with webinars and stuff. But the other thing that's cool about Groove is they do e-commerce sites. So you can actually have as many e-com sites as you want. So if you think e-com is in your future, which it is in ours, then, again, you can use that. So we're using things for different reasons. Most of our programs are live on Kajabi.
Yep.
ClickFunnels, we're using more front end testing. And then Groove will house all our e-com. So you don't have to. You can go to one, like I said, you can go to Groove and it'll do everything.
Yeah.
But it's really, I like to just say, go to trial everything and see which one feels easy for you, because everybody's brain works differently, and they're all totally different in terms of how you move things around and how you add things in. So like I just started doing, all the pages on ClickFunnels, and it was interesting. It took me an entire day to like reframe my brain because I'm used to using Kajabi.
Right.
So I did, and now it's like boom, boom, boom. It's easy. I understand it all. So both of them are easy, but they're very different in how
different to edit and stuff like that. Kajabi, I find, is very WYSIWYG, right? Like what you see is what you get. ClickFunnels and Groove, just, again, for some people, you'll find it even easier because there's a lot of people that don't like Kajabi because the way it's set up, and they like the visual aspect of Groove and ClickFunnels, who are sort of similar in their builders. So, but none of them need code.
No, none of them.
You don't need code for anything. And then going back to Elf site, you don't need code.
No.
Like that's what we love about it.
Whatever we're posting on our resources page, like we said, is what we use, what we like. It works. Like if you had told like Publer, still it's what we use to post our social media. Still to this day, we're like, wow.
Yep. And the more they come out, I think they just came out with posting to TikTok as well. So like they're always like, that's the other piece, is that you're not necessarily just investing in what they have today. It's they're always doing upgrades. These programs are always updating, always making things better for the audience and the user.
Yes.
So awesome.
Yeah. So check it out. We're going to be adding constantly whenever we come up with something new, because honestly, we were having to, DM everybody separately when they'd ask us, and then we'd have to explain it all. But this way, it's there. If it's on the page, we truly are using it. It's not like, oh, somebody wants us to promote something. We don't do that. Yeah. We don't promote things that we don't use. We're not interested, because we don't want you to come back to us and go, oh, that's actually kind of crappy.
Yeah. We use it. It's not just we're endorsing it. We're actually using it in our business. So,
and if you ask, you can ask us, you can say, well, can you give us an example? Just like Stacy gave you an example of where we're using Elfsight. And that's only 2. We're using it in a lot of places that you don't
that's
see.
just 2 pages. Yeah.
So, if you said to us, well, we're using Kajabi, we'd send you the page. Here it is. Where
exactly.
Funnels. Here it is.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can look like, what are some challenges? What are some pluses?
Now that we're thinking out loud, Stacy, maybe what would be kind of cool is just, under those links. So under, ClickFunnels, maybe we should put like, check out our ClickFunnels page here.
Oh, that's a good idea. So people can see it in action.
Right.
And how we've used it. That's a good idea.
Might be worth it. Anyways, we'll figure it out.
Brainstorming with us, everybody. As always, she always throws things out live, and I go, great idea. And then I go, how am I going to make that work?
Yeah,
that's actually a very good idea.
Because it's just like yesterday, where I was listening to a podcast, and then I just, I sent Stacy a note. I said, I heard one line and I got an idea. So, and you know what's good now is I've started like yesterday, as I said, I was driving. It was an hour and a half drive, and I'm listening to a podcast, and I'm like, my brain is really full, so I always forget stuff. So this was the first time that I started dictating to Siri, and I said, Siri, can you put this in my notes? And then, what would you like to say? So I said, so I gave her a line, and she put it in my notes. That's where I want it. I want everything in my notes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, which is very smart. Yeah, I think you have to, because when you get, especially when you're driving, you have an idea, or you hear something. I do as well, and it's like, I have a couple of options. I can pull over and write the note. I can try to remember. Probably won't happen.
No.
Because it's in the moment. And but you're right. The dictation, awesome. Great idea.
Yeah, wherever you put it, wherever you find it, it's just notes for me is just like, there's lots of cool apps and everything, but notes is on your iPhone. And
I know people who call themselves.
Yeah.
Leave voicemails for themselves.
Yeah, and they say, or text message me or whatever, right? Text. But for me, I need it somewhere where it's not going to delete.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or go away. You can always reference it, right? That's the problem with calling myself, is that I won't check my voicemail.
No, never. So,
but anyway, all right.
Well, it's been tech and resources.
Yeah.
Who knew? Thanks for joining us here in the Mastermind City. You don't have to say goodbye, because there's other ways that you can join us.
You can access our free trainings, masterclasses, and learn how you can work one-on-one with us. Join us at themastermindcity.com, and we will see you in the city.